Last competitor right now, her name is Dana, but she's helping out today. Dana, what place did you win when you competed?
Fourth place last year.
Fourth place, so tough competition. Yeah. What's it like? What do you think the pastry chefs are thinking right now?
They're probably really, really nervous. They're in a new environment that they've never been in before. I know I was very scared. I'd never been in a kitchen. I didn't do a BOCES program or anything in high school. So coming in here and being in like a professional environment in a kitchen that I'd never been in before was very nerve-wracking, and you're just put right into the competition, and it's a lot of focusing that you have to do.
Let's describe some of the action going on right now. What do you see does it matter what they start with? Can they just do whatever they want?
That's part of the competition, sort of, knowing where you need to start, what's going to take the longest, what you need to get done first. So if they think they need to get their cookies done first, a lot of people are cutting their cookies, a lot of people are preparing their poached pears and their caramelized apples. And that's a big part of it, knowing what needs to be done first.
Dana, what was the hardest part for you when you were competing?
Probably my cookies, honestly, because these are much different ovens than the ones that you have at home, and it's difficult to know how to cook them perfectly.
Did you mess up at all?
Yes. I burnt my cookies a little bit around the edges.
But you still came out with a fourth place win.
Yeah, I think my cake definitely had a lot to do with it, because I would say decorating cakes is probably one of my strong suits, so that was something I was very confident in when I did it.
So the judges really take everything into factor when it's not just one thing. They really look at it all equally.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's like a grading sheet, and they take into consideration everything that you're doing, like your techniques, your knowledge of what you're doing. Chef Mystic will probably come around and ask them all little questions, take that into consideration also when she's scoring them.
So Dana, what do you want to do after you graduate?
The same thing that every baking student wants to do, get my own bakery, move up the levels, probably be on Food Network, the dream.
You are going to be on Food Network, absolutely. What is your favorite thing to make?
That's tough. I like to make a lot of things. I really like decorating cakes. I like the artistic concept of baking.
Students are hard at work right now to create their entree, and I'm going to join Chef Paul to explain to me exactly what they're making. So they have a couple different choices. Chef Paul, come over here. Come join me a little bit. What can they make today? What are their choices?
First of all, they have to demonstrate knife skills, right? So they have to show their competency with a knife, and then they're moving on to a sauce and an entree, right? And they have a choice between three sauces. They can make a velouté, which is in this particular case, is made with chicken stock. So if they're looking for a neutral chicken dish, that would be perfect. They're making, or they can make a bechamel, which is a white sauce, or a tomato sauce. So hopefully the students are thinking in terms of what do I want to do with my chicken breast, and the sauce will be complementary to it.
What do you think the easiest one is to make, or what one might be a little bit more difficult than another? Are they all pretty similar?
They're all difficult if you don't know what you're doing, right? So it's, but in essence, these are all really basic sauces, what we call the mother sauces. So these are 3 of the 5 mother sauces. And every other sauce that you can imagine is made somehow or other from this foundation.
Okay, so their job maybe is to spice it up then and make it a little bit more creative?
Well, they could, but what we're trying to teach them today is to keep it simple and do the foundations and do them well and demonstrate that you understand basic cooking techniques. Sometimes when you get too creative, you lose sight of flavor and texture and all those great things.
And what do you have to say to their family members back at home? What are you seeing so far this morning? Are they cool, calm, and collective, or are the students a little bit tense?
Well, they're understandably a little bit nervous, but I give them incredible credit for putting themselves on the line and demonstrating their skills in front of an audience who they don't know. So this is a great thing, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, they absolutely do.
I came in as a transfer, but I've worked it for the past couple of years, and I don't know, it's just fun to watch the new coming students come in and see what they can do, and it's stressful. I mean, you come in, you take a test, you're from out of state, you don't know what's going on, so it can be stressful.
And what brought you to Paul Smith?
I took a couple years off, figured out what I wanted to do with my life, and just, cooking seemed like the right thing for me, so.
Absolutely. And what do you think so far being at Paul Smith College? You like the experience?
I love it here. I really do. I love the middle of nowhere and the winters and cooking and the hecticness of the kitchen. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. What's your favorite thing to make?
Probably braciole.
What is that?
It's you take a flag steak or a veal shoulder and you pound it out nice and thin, and then you stuff it with herbs, spices, cheeses, etc. Roll it up, sear it off, bake it, and have like au jus to go with it, if you will.
Wow.
Beef reduction sauce. So
I'm starving just thinking about it. That sounds fantastic. And what are your goals when you graduate? What do you want to do?
I'd like to do catering for a little while. Work in catering. I'd like to work. I did an internship in a large resort, so that was good. Get a different feel of where I'm cooking. But I'd like to go in catering for a little while and play with that.
And do you think the college here, Paul Smith College, gave you the tools necessary to actually do that?
Most definitely. Most definitely. They have great chefs here and do a very good job.
Yep. So you are both involved with baking and cooking?
Yes, I'm a double major. I'm culinary arts major, and I'm also a baking and pastry major.
What's your experience been so far at Paul Smith College?
Oh, I love it. I wouldn't change anything about it. I loved it. All the teachers are very hands-on. They care a lot about their students. I can't say enough good things about it.
That's great.
I competed in the culinary side of the competition.
Oh,
So
nice.
I ended up with second place, and my mom actually made me compete. She was like, just do it. And I was like, okay.
But we're out in the hall right now. We're with some of the admissions counselors to tell me more about the experience here at Paul Smith. So let's start with Nick, right? Tell me what you think. Why do you think students should come to Paul Smith College? What's the experience like?
Well, it's unlike any other, that's for sure. It's one of these places where you come here and you feel like it's an extension of your own home. It becomes your home. Me being an alumni myself, I've decided to stay in a professional role now. It's one of these places that kind of just sucks you in and keeps you here forever. It's just another part of my family now, and I think that's what really makes us different than many other places.
Oh my gosh, Nick, I love it. I want to go here now. It sounds so homey. It sounds great. What about you? What do you think?
I mean, I think Nick definitely said it best. It's a great community here. Everybody, you walk in and it feels like home. The programs are awesome. You really can't get any better training in culinary arts, in baking, forestry, whatever it is you're choosing to study. And you always have a place to come home to, which is nice.
I love it. All right, and speaking of the program, let's talk to you. What's your name?
Amanda.
And what is your role with the culinary program here?
Sure. So I'm the admissions counselor that actually runs the day. So it's a really great program. We have about 23 students here today from all parts of New York State, a couple from Vermont, New Hampshire, even a few from New Jersey. So it's a really exciting day, and we're just happy that everybody's here.
Nice. And for the application process for students to come here, was it pretty stiff competition for that too, or can anybody sign up?
You have to be a baking or culinary student that's applied to Paul Smith's and has been accepted. And then we ask for a letter of recommendation from like a culinary instructor or some kind of professor or something like that at school. And then we also ask for an essay talking about their culinary experience. Maybe they worked in a restaurant. So those are the two required stipulations for the competition.
Wow, so they have to submit an essay, then a recommendation letter, and then they took an exam here, and now they are cooking. So this is pretty serious. A lot of money is on the line, though, too. So let's go over to Ben now and talk to him. We're going to make our rounds with the admissions counselors. Thank you all so much for being here. Ben, what do you think? What's the experience like at Paul Smith College, even in the winter when it may be a little bit gloomy outside?
Well, even in the winter, they do keep it comfortable here. And as far as the experience goes, I started working here in July, and the entire school has just been so welcoming. Whether it was students, other faculty, and staff members, I've noticed, even for our students, that it's such a welcoming place that coming in from, say, another school, anything like that, everybody is so willing to help you in any way they possibly can. And the programs and everything here are just so hard to beat. It's a fantastic organization all around.
I think I see one student putting pepperoni inside of a chicken. That's what it looks like. Is that what he's doing?
I think he's making like a pizza kind of thing there.
It smells good. So what's your name?
My name is Pauline Johnson.
Okay, now Pauline is a transfer student. You transferred from what school?
SUNY Adirondack.
And what brought you to Paul Smith's?
My school only had a 2-year degree, and I came up here to get a 4-year degree. And they did take some of my credits away, but it was really nice because it's such an intense class to where it doesn't even matter if you have those credits or not, because this is so much more than the other schools have.
What do you think what other additional things are you learning that you wouldn't have learned at another college?
Well, my other college, we had like a simple garde manger where we stuffed sausages. Over in our garde manger, we do that for a whole week. We stuff sausages for a whole week, and you learn how to do cold sausages and seafood sausages and mussolinis.
So you think you're learning? You think you're learning a little bit more here?
Yes, definitely. I've only been here for 1 year. This is my second semester. I've learned so much more than I have in those 2 years that I went there.
Wow, and this is your first time helping with the cooking competition?
Yeah, it makes me jealous that I didn't try this when I was younger.
Yeah,
It was so fun.
What are you thinking so far? What's your reaction to everything?
They're doing really great.
Yeah.
I know I'd be a little nervous. I probably wouldn't be going half as fast as they are.
So they're right on track. They only have about a half an hour left, right, to finish everything up. So you think they're going to make it?
Yeah, most of them are cooking their chicken, so hopefully they make it.
All right, sounds good. It smells so good in here, but it's toasty. It's quite hot.
That's a kitchen. You gotta get used to it.
You gotta. What is it called? You gotta cook. If you can't handle the heat, get out
the hell
of the
out of the kitchen.
Yes. So at the 18th annual Cooking for Scholarships competition at Paul Smith's College. Where else? I'm with Chef Vicki right now to tell me a little bit more. The students are wrapping up. Seems like they have about a half an hour
Yeah,
left.
they have about half an hour, but they're really focused, and I think they're going to do great.
What are you thinking so far? This is your first time
Yeah.
being part of the competition. You're a judge, right?
Yes, I am, and I'm impressed so far. They've all brought something unique, something different to their ingredient, and I think there's a couple of them are doing really well.
Promising students in the room. I like to hear that. You've been going around and sort of offering some tips too. What are
Yeah.
some of the things that you've been giving them advice
Just a couple of tips. I kept it even though. Just some of them needed a little seasoning, maybe consistency on certain things, and a little help on texture of different things by adding a little more water or stock.
So it's not just a competition, it's a big learning experience.
It is definitely a learning experience, and it's hard for me not to jump in and want to teach, because that's what I love doing. So I definitely want to offer that if I can.
Well, if they come to Paul Smith College, you could be one of their instructors. What grades do you teach?
I'm right now. I'm doing I'm actually doing freshman with nutrition, and junior and sophomore. So
they could definitely have you as a teacher. And
Oh, yeah,
that,
definitely.
That way you could jump in and help them.
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I can't help doing it here though. So
It's a competition. What do you
Right,
expect?
exactly.
What are you seeing so far?
Most of them have a good pace. They're almost done. Most of them left their cakes for the very end, which I did as well, because I knew I could get that done in little time.
Okay.
So
leaving the cake for the end is a normal thing.
it depends on the person. Some people like to get their cakes out first because they know that's going to take the longest for them. So let's get that done and out of the way so that I can focus on.
And they have to make cookies too. Are they in the
Yeah.
oven right now?
Most of them, some of them are in the oven. I think we have one tray. Most of them are out. What they're looking for the cookies is just size, thickness, and color.
They look like they are really knocking it out of the park today, and it smells amazing.
It does.
Hello, everyone. 5 minutes left upstairs in the culinary competition, Cooking for Scholarships competition at Paul Smith's College. A lot of money is on the line. I think I just saw one student exit the room with his dish, which means it's been judged. They have tasted it, and I asked him about it. I said, have they looked at it yet? What do you think? He seemed pretty confident in his answer. So, a lot of stuff is at stake here, but it's a big competition. People are still working though. There are still 5 minutes left. We still see some cutting going on and maybe some preparing of the dish, but overall people are wrapping up. It looks good. Your dish looks great as well. Confidence, it's all about that, and time management. It really seems like everybody has this down to a science that's here this morning, and really it's all about the learning experience too. So yes, it's a competition, but it's all about making friends, having fun. And so I'm with Chef Deb right now to tell me a little bit more of what she's seen so far this morning. So what are the students like? What do you think? Looks like they're icing their cake. So does that mean they're right on time?
They are right on time. Everybody, in fact, at this point has done everything, and everybody is on the same page and icing their cake. So it's pretty neat to be able to walk around and see the different levels. Students in the beginning, when we first talked to them, were very nervous. Their nerves have come down quite a bit because they're in the tail end. They have about 24 minutes left, which is a lot of time. And they have to mask and border their cake. They're being judged on crumb freeze, smooth icing, a border, their flowers, the decoration of it, the overall appearance of it. Hopefully we will have a level cake. And then the other thing they have to do is they have to show me some piping skills. So they're going to pipe on a board and it's going to say happy birthday Peggy.
I'm with Miss Molly, who just finished cooking her entree. So Molly, what did you make today?
I made honey glazed chicken with roasted vegetables with apple cider vinegar and honey as well, and I put a little bit of garlic and basil on it, and some rice.
Nice. How do you feel about it? What do you think? What was the turnout?
I think it was really good, but my rice was a little undercooked, which I was like kind of not rushed for time, but I should have just let it cook a little bit more, but I was worried about time. But other than that, he said it was really good, so I'm hoping to do pretty well.
Great. So did you learn a lot from being part of this experience?
Yes, I did. I learned more, like, better knife skills. Like, he showed me, like, a little bit more professional way to do it, because I was just kind of doing how I do it at home. But now it's a little bit more professional, so hoping to do better than that.
Absolutely. And were you nervous at all? I'm sure you were biting your fingers coming to this.
Yeah, like, on the way here, I was, like, a little nervous, but I try not to let it get to me, because I knew, like, when I get nervous, I just, like, kind of, like, it just all overwhelms me, but I just try to, like, calm myself down. But when I got in there and figured out where everything was, I just flowed along like I was at home.
Nice. And so now what are the next steps? You're cleaning up, it looked like.
Yeah, I was cleaning up. I ate my lunch, hoping to do well when the awards go along, so nervous about that.
Students are wrapping up the Cooking for Scholarships competition here at Paul Smith College. I'm joined by Austin, who just finished making his dish. Austin, what did you make today?
I made a seared chicken breast with a cheesy bechamel sauce, some sauteed vegetables, and a red pepper polenta cake.
How do you feel about it?
I feel like I plated it pretty well, kept myself organized, kept all of my utensils clean, my area clean.
You think those are the most important things that the judges are looking for?
Well, that and the basic principles of culinary arts, the knife cuts, and the overall cooking methods and presentation.
And how has your experience been overall this morning? Was it overwhelming at all?
At first I was a little nervous taking the test, my hand was shaking a bit, but after a while I just got into using the equipment here like I would normally.
And did you learn anything from being here?
I learned that all of the people here are always going to be very nice to you. The chefs are very helpful, and everyone just wants you to do well.
Nice. And do you think you're going to come to Paul Smith College?
I do plan on attending Paul Smith College this fall.
Joining me is Olivia. Now, you just finished everything. You're completely done. How do you feel about it all?
Better now.
Better now.
Yeah. I think my cake came out really well. My pear's okay, and then the cookies were okay too.
Just okay for the last two. Do you specialize in cakes?
Yeah.
Why do you like the cake making so much?
I don't know. I like the art of it. I like decorating. It's what I do a lot, so I'm used to it.
Absolutely. I wonder, I saw your cake back there before, and I think I got a chance to look at it too. It looked gorgeous, by the way. And you're done a few minutes earlier too. Did you expect that?
No.
No. Why not?
I don't know. I thought I was going to be going to the last minute, but yeah.
I guess you planned everything right.
Yeah, I guess so.
And what do you think from the entire, overall competition? What were your feelings going into it, and now how do you feel?
I was really nervous going into it. I'm still kind of shaky right now, but it's okay. It was fun.
Hello, everybody. Well, people are wrapping up here at the 18th Annual Baking and Cooking for Scholarship competition. It seems like everybody's really just putting the finishing. Got about 30 seconds. We just got the word. Putting the finishing touches on top of their cakes. They've finished their pears or their apples and also their cookies. And now it's just time to see everybody's dish sparkle in the Pine Room. So we'll be going there shortly to see everybody's plate together.